Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From July 4th through August 26th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a set of all 4 Commander 2019 decks. Also, there is another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and it's that time of the week again where we go back and look at the results from the big tournaments of the weekend. This past weekend, there was a Modern Grand Prix at MagicFest Minneapolis, and I'll cut to the chase. There were a lot of Hoggak decks there. We'll be looking at that in just a second. We're going to look at the top 8 from the event and some of the deck lists from that top 8, with a special emphasis on cards from Modern Horizons that performed well this weekend. This should be a relatively short video, so let's get right into it. First though, before we get to the top 8, let's take a look at the decks that made day 2, and you're going to notice one big glaring thing here at the top of this list. 33 Hoggak decks, 19.3% of day 2. That is a huge amount. Granted, a lot of people brought Hoggak decks to the tournament, but still, that is a lot of decks making it to day 2. Now, they did combine a few different variations on the Hoggak decks, and we'll look at a couple of the different variations that did make it to the top 8 in just a moment. Mono Red Phoenix was the second most played deck in day 2. That had 17 copies, 19.94%. Burn and Tron each with 13 copies, 7.6%. Jund with 12, 7.02%. Eldrazi Tron, 11 copies at 6.43%. Urzatron, 10 decks, 5.85%. So as you can see beyond that point though, there's still a lot of different decks that can put up a good result. However, right now it does feel like diversity is kind of being choked out of the format a little bit, which is kind of sad to see considering Modern has been a very diverse format for a long time. In fact, not too long ago when they were talking about unbanning Jace the Mind Sculptor, I was concerned that they were going to mess up a good thing. Turned out that it was fine, but Modern Horizons now has very much changed the format. My guess is Hoggak is going to get banned in a couple weeks when they do an update to the banned and restricted list. I just feel like they tried to dance around it with the banning of Bridge from Below, but at the same time, I can't see any other cards being banned from the deck that just can't be replaced with something else. As a matter of fact, when they banned Bridge from Below, people got creative and actually made the deck better, and that's what you're seeing here. So I'd be very surprised if they don't take action and actually go after Hoggak in 2 weeks. Okay, here's your top 8, first place as well as 5th place, Hedron Crab Hoggak. A little variation on the Hoggak decks we have been seeing. We'll take a look at that first place deck list in just a moment. 2nd place as well as 4th place as well as 7th place, Hoggak, the more traditional variety. 3rd place, Mono Red Prowess. 6th place, Burn. 8th place, Humans. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these deck lists. I won't make you look at 5 different Hoggak decks, we'll just look at the first 2. Here's your first place deck, and Channel Fireball put together these slides again with all the cards, which I think are pretty cool, so you get a really good look at the deck. So a few things to point out here, this particular version of the deck does not run Stitcher's Supplier for the most part. They do run Hedron Crab, Polluted Dead, and Stitcher's Apprentice, so you see some different cards here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards for Modern Horizons that are in here. Of course, you find Carrion Feeder, and this one is running 2 copies of Altar of Dementia as well. Now, those 2 cards are reprints, but when they did get reprinted in Modern Horizons, they became Modern Legal. As you would expect, Hoggak Arisen Necropolis is here too. Out of the sideboard, you find Force of Vigor. Here's your 2nd place Hoggak deck, maybe in some ways a more familiar version of the deck if you've been watching over the last few weeks. You'll notice some differences, of course, between the previous deck and this deck. This one's running 3 copies of Lotleth Troll, but one of the things that you're going to notice is the same as the core package. Bloodghast, Carrion Feeder, Gravecrawler, obviously Hoggak Arisen Necropolis, Satyr Wayfinder, Vegvine, Faithless Looting, Lightning Axe. A lot of the same cards do carry over, but the Hedron Crab version does have a little bit of a different twist. For Modern Horizons, again, you see Carrion Feeder and Hoggak Arisen Necropolis. Out of the sideboard, again, Force of Vigor. Now, if you looked at some of the other decks in the top 8, you did see a few other cards showing up in these Hoggak decks. Nurturing Peatland in the mana base sometimes. And sometimes in the sideboard shenanigans, as if there's not enough shenanigans going on in that deck. Okay, so let's look at the 3rd place Mono Red Prowess deck. In some ways, if you glance at this, it looks like a burn deck. It has lightning bolts and lava spikes. But there is a little more of an emphasis on the creatures here. Now, burn decks typically run Monastery Swiftspear like you see here, but this also runs Soulscar Mage and Bedlam Reveler, so prowess is a key component. You also have things like Crash Through. So there are some similarities when it comes to the burn deck in this one, and we're going to be looking at the burn deck in just a second. But as you can see, there's also some big differences. From Modern Horizons, you get Lava Dart, another card that was reprinted but became Modern legal because it was in that set. Fiery Islet and Sunbaked Canyon are here too, but only one of's in this deck. And again, shenanigans out of the sideboard. Here's your 6th place burn deck, and as you can see, some of the same cards, but there's a lot more direct damage going on here with Boros Charm, Rift Bolt, Searing Blaze. Additionally, you find Lightning Helix, Skewer the Critic, Skullcrack. When it comes to creatures, no Soulscar Mage, but you do have Eidolon of the Great Revel, Goblin Guide. This deck does have the Monastery Swift Spears, though. Now, the previous deck runs more prowess creatures, so the cards like Light Up the Stage and Faithless Looting are a little more powerful there. This deck doesn't use those cards. Instead, what they do is they go a little bit deeper with the Horizon or Canopy lands, whichever you prefer. Let's take a look at the cards here from Modern Horizons. This deck runs 2 copies of Fiery Islet and 4 copies of Sunbaked Canyon. Here's your 8th place Humans deck, and I don't have a lot to say about it. When you look at the deck list here, it looks like a pretty normal Humans build. 4 copies of Aether Vial, all the most powerful humans that are in the Modern format. Let's take a look and see what Modern Horizons brings to this deck. In the main, the mana base is running a couple copies of Silent Clearing. Sideboard has Plague Engineer and Collector Oof. Alright, that wraps up our look at the tournament results from the weekend. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.